You mentioned motherhood before. That brings me to Sheryl Swoopes. And I
Yeah.
remember when Sheryl Swoopes and the Houston Comets were just dominating the league, and there was a lot of buzz about that. But as a fan, I think she mentioned about having she had her baby before she started playing in the league, and you kind of forget like there wasn't a blueprint for her and for mothers who play basketball, even probably even soccer. Um, this was uncharted territory. How did Sheryl Swoopes get involved with the project, and what type of things did you gain from her when you listen to her stories?
Oh man, she was so much better than I even could have dreamed. Her interview is woven throughout the film because everything she says was a gold mine of information, and she was so open and friendly. So we knew we had to have an OG. One of the original working titles for this film was the new OGs, right? Because the league is feeling like it did back then, right? We're packing arenas, and people are watching and people are caring. So we had to have an OG. So there are obviously several names we could have chosen from. And just selfishly as the director, I was such a huge Sheryl Swoopes fan as a kid. I was like, Terry, can you get me Sheryl? And she was like, of course. And it was honestly as simple as that. And then it kind of helped that we're going to Houston for NECA. So Cheryl's in Houston, and then Van Chancellor obviously is in Houston. So even production wise, it was very fortuitous. But yeah, I mean, how do you not get Air Swoopes?
Yeah, it was very cool to see Van Chancellor. I haven't seen Van Chancellor in a long time. And I just, like I said, I just remember that era and all that buzz. And one thing I did like at the very beginning of the doc, you mentioned like the heights of the league and then it went down. And sometimes with documentaries, people try to sugarcoat things, but you say, hey, yeah, things did go down for a little bit, but now we're going back up. You didn't tackle that in the doc, I don't think. Was there a reason why the popularity went down?
A little bit, but I first want to say that it was important to us to sort of hang a lantern on that and acknowledge it, because I think it gives the women that we featured credibility. Like they're not unself-aware. They know what people say. NECA had a great answer at one point. She was like, I don't even respond. I don't give that any space in my brain, but they're not unaware. And then Lindsay Gibbs, the journalist we featured, who was so brilliant and kind and open with her time, she basically explained it was marketing dollars disappearing. Ownership shifted, I think. Do you have the details of that?
I mean, it was, for lack of a better word, neglect and not being taken care of. It was, I think, maybe ignorance on the part of the NBA, thinking that once they got the W to a certain point, that it would steamroll and continue without any extra effort.
Even though the NBA didn't do that? Like it took the NBA longer to get to where the W is.
I'm not trying to say anything, whatever.
Right,
back that down a little bit.
Sure, sorry.
No, I really do. I think that there was no standard for this kind of women's league at that point, and they were running it like a men's league, and it didn't work. And I think that's always inherently been my issue is collective bargaining agreements exist across every single league. The NFL has one, the MLB has one, the NHL, they all have them. And you cannot take a NBA CBA and mirror it to a league that is, how much younger is the W than 80 years younger than, the W is still in its infancy. It's only 27. The NBA, when the NBA was 27, was not the NBA of today. It was not this NBA. So I think what we have to do is allow the women that are in the league today to rewrite the way that they want the league to run. And I think that there are some issues because there are not enough players in front office positions in the W.